Good afternoon. It is once again Friday, 5:30 in the p.m., and you are watching and listening to Hotline 21. Of course, this is Congressman Danny Davis, and as always, I am delighted, super delighted to be here and to have a little bit of something to report. You know, we experienced Dr. Martin Luther King's holiday a few days ago, where we celebrated his birthday. And the interesting thing is there were so many wonderful things that people were doing and that I did. I think I must have done at least 5 exciting things on that day. Some of them were in Chicago, some of them were out of Chicago. They were out in the western suburbs. They were at the Hyatt Hotel. I was over at the New Covenant Church with Dr. Willie Wilson. Oh, there were just things happening. It was a great day, and I trust that you were involved in as many ways as you could possibly be. But you know, it's back down to certain kinds of realities. The government did shut down, and that's unfortunate. I mean, and what that really meant is that it was difficult to arrive at a agreed upon approach to making decisions about some things. And there are certain laws and situations that expire. And then when they expire, you got to renew them. You got to put them back in place. The two main things, quite frankly, that Congress does in this country is, one, it has the authority to make a declaration of war, that is to declare war, and also to pass a budget. Passing a budget really means that you decide what the emphasis of the country will be for the next year, or whatever period of time you're talking about. Budgets determine what or reflect what priorities are. They also reflect, in some instances, what people want to see happen. It's not so difficult to come up with a budget, but what's difficult to come up with is the money to fund programs. I used to think one of the main reasons that I'd like to be in government or in politics or in public decision making is to be able to develop these programs and decide all of these wonderful things that you develop. But when you develop them, you also, if you're going to be able to implement them, you also have to be able to pay for them. And the primary way that we pay for governmental things is through taxation. Different people have different thoughts and ideas about taxation. There are those who hate to pay taxes. You know, it's kind of like saying everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And so there are a lot of people who want all kinds of programs. They want all kinds of good things to happen, but they don't necessarily want to pay for them. And so that's kind of where the rubber hits the road. Then there are those who recognize that, as Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes said, that taxation is the price that we pay for a civilized society. Just imagine if we didn't pay any taxes, we wouldn't have any money. And if we didn't have any money, we couldn't have any policemen. We couldn't have any judges. We couldn't have any public doctors. We wouldn't have any CTA. We wouldn't have any elevated trains. We wouldn't have Amtrak. A lot of things that we would not have. And so I agree with Justice Holmes that taxation is the price that we pay for a civilized society. We've had several deaths that I'd like to report. We're saddened because our friend Lowry Taylor, who was what we call a community activist, volunteer, person who did community organizing. Lowry passed away, and there's going to be a memorial service for him at the Pickett Funeral Home at 5301 West Madison Street on Thursday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock. That's Thursday 6 to 8. I think Lowry would say, if you ask him what was something that he did that he really enjoyed. And when Dorothy Brown ran for clerk of the circuit court, Lowry went to work for her campaign and did a great deal of the field organizing. And that was something that he worked on a lot of campaigns and did a lot of organizing. But I think one of the highlights for him was working on Dorothy Brown's campaign and seeing her win. We also had another death. Our good friend, Justice William Cousins Jr. died, and his wake and funeral is going to be at the Trinity United Church of Christ at 400 West 95th Street on Friday of next week. When I leave here, I expect to dash right over to Justice Cousins' funeral. He was a Harvard-trained, well-educated guy who went to Harvard, went to law school, alderman of the 8th Ward at one time. He was an independent, ran for judge, and then, of course, ran for the appellate court. Our condolences go out to both the families of Lowry Taylor and the family of Justice William Cousins. Our telephone number is 312-738-1060. The President's State of the Union address is going to be coming up on Tuesday. And I'm going to ask you, my viewers, especially given the fact that I represent some of you in a technical sense, hopefully many others of you in a non-technical sense. But given the fact that the President has made some disparaging remarks relative to countries of origin, chances are the country that I came from, more than likely, as well as countries in the Caribbean or the Caribbean, Haiti and places. Some members of Congress are not going to attend his State of the Union address. My question this evening to you is, if you were a member of Congress, would you or would you not attend the President's State of the Union address on Tuesday night? The phone number is 312-738-1060, and if you feel like it, give us a call and just kind of let us know what you're thinking about that. Some people think that to attend is acknowledging that he is president, and he is president of the United States of America. There are others who have said they're not going to attend because whatever he say, he's not going to be telling the truth, and that he's going to be lying. And so why go and listen to something that you don't believe? Well, let's see. We've got a caller. Caller, are you there?
Yeah. How you doing, Connie Davis?
I'm fine, James. How are you?
Okay, like I said, now they talk about they want to get the land back to the people. They talk about they should go back to their own country, but they should have did. Now they want people to go back to their own country. Now if they want people to go back to their own country, why don't they get the land back to Native American? Like I've been saying, they should get the land back to Native American. But and then like I said, this is God's country because the Native American was here before anybody else. They was here first. They was here before anybody else, and they want people to go to their own country. If it wasn't for the Native American, they wouldn't have like the other countries, and then it would be no United States because they was here before anybody else. Connie David, the Native American.
I agree with you there that they were here. That's why they're called Native Americans. And so, would you go to the President's State of the Union address if you were a member of Congress? Well, I think James is gone, so let's go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman.
Yes, sir.
You're the only guy that I know who look as spiffy as you do, even without a tie. But you know what? I go, and I'll tell you why. If I was in Congress, it's the United States Congress, so you'd have to go. You're obligated to go. I don't care if he never told the truth again. This is the United States. And it's the Black Caucus, and it's the Hispanic Caucus that I'm going to go. But you know what? They have a soldier who was on TV that wrote, and now he's going to be there, African American. And guess what? He was invited. He's going to sit there. So if you guys don't go, that's no big deal. I'd rather have the United States Coast Guard, Army, everybody else, Marines, go instead of you guys because they love this country. They ain't going to let nobody tell them.
Well, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Do you believe that the president insulted people from Haiti and from Africa or the African countries?
I believe this, Congressman. He embarrassed the country, not the people. He didn't say shithole people. He said the S word, country. That as far as that goes. But I want to ask you one question. What do you think about the proposition that the president says now that he's going to let more than twice the amount of illegal immigrants come to this country? The Democrats are already saying, oh, that's racist. What do they want? What do you guys want? Please. I just don't understand it sometimes. But I surely would go, whether I wanted to or not, because I'm an American citizen, and you're supposed, just like the guy who called the President Obama a liar.
Well, I just believe that
It's
you
a
do
lie.
unto
He was
others
lying.
as you would
They
have
never said
them do unto
about
you.
him lying. All they said that he was called a liar. So it goes both ways, not one way.
All
Okay, go
right.
ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. But I still believe that you do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. And if I was a strange man in a strange land, I would want people to treat me with as much openness, dignity, and cooperative spirit as they would. It would sure make me feel much better. Caller, are you there?
Yes,
Yeah.
good evening. Not only do I agree with everything that Ray said, the previous caller, but I think President Trump is doing a good job. I compare him to my auto mechanic. He swears, he curses, but he gets the job done. He gets it done right. He gets it done for a good price. And more than anything, I trust him. And, sometimes people lapse in their speech. I don't hold that against him. Everybody has some type of vice. And, and if you don't let off steam in life somehow, you develop things like ulcers and that. And I agree with what Ray said. It's so disrespectful, I think, for any group of people not to go. He was elected, and you go there, and I think a lot of times, and just like Ray said, you have the caucuses in Chicago, and they start off, no matter what he did, he couldn't have done anything that they wouldn't have been unhappy with. So I'm in agreement with Ray, and I think he's doing a good job, and I think we should all support him and give him his fair chance. Anyhow, that's all I have to say. Good evening.
All right. Thank you very much. And I think we've got another caller, Holden. Caller, are you there?
Hello, Congressman Davis.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you a short story. I was given a Section 8 voucher, and CHA had to sue for me to move into a complex that had used taxpayers' money to build their property or rehab it or whatever. And my family and friends said, why would you fight to get someplace where nobody wants you there? And for the time that I've lived here, I've had to go to court, not know if I'm going to have a place to live from year to year. And I told them the reason why is because I'm a good person, I am a good neighbor, and I have every right to live here like anybody else, even if I'm poor. And so I think that we have fought to be in the White House and to be Americans, and I think we should go and show that we are here.
All right. So this land is my land. This land is your land. This land is our land.
Yes.
I agree wholeheartedly. Our number is 312-738-1060. And caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman. And first, let me just say this and get my thoughts right. It's a great day to be on God's green earth. That's the most important thing in life. I got a quick comment, real quick. You're very adamant what you're doing to trying to help the people that go to get locked up and they stand there for 100 years because they can't make bond. That's a really nice thing that you're doing.
Well,
Now,
thank you.
And the main thing that I want to say to Ray and the caller after Ray, there's nothing wrong with what you thinking or saying. That's why we live in the United States of America. We could say things. But let me tell you, I want y'all to both listen to this. If I was an elected official, I would not go. I'd rather go and watch two ants play ping pong before I listen to what that crazy man got to say. I can't believe a word what comes out of that man's mouth. When you look at him, it seems like you're looking at the head, the brain, thinking and whatnot. But that's either here or there. How can you trust a man that say things, as you heard one time, that's locker room talk? things what he do, what he say, it don't make no sense. How can anyone get along with that? But Ray and that other guy, there's nothing wrong with. We already know that you're a die-hard Republican and like that man. There's nothing wrong with it. But again, you need to see the ping pong match that's going to be on the cable channel that day. 2 ants playing ping pong, and I bet you're going to enjoy that much better. Listen, Congressman, I want to thank you for taking this call.
Thank you.
And you got a response.
I want to see those 2 ants play ping pong myself.
Okay, well, listen, it's going to be on channel 668. Just turn it on.
All
Leave
right.
the address alone. Thank you for taking the call.
Okay. I will go right back to the phone. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, it's me again, Connie Davis. Now, okay, if he's sending them back to their own country, what about their civil rights? And what about the Native American civil rights? And when they got their land taken, and if he want, and then what about if he send the people back to Africa? What about their civil rights? And then what about the Native American civil rights when they got their land taken?
Well, I always take the position that my rights end where the next person's rights begin, and vice versa. So I think we do have to be concerned about the rights of people, the rights of others, and we'll go right to the phone and see what our next caller got to say. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am, and thank you so much for this conversation that's going on. And this is what life is all about. It's about living. And whatever choice you make sure you can live by those choices. I'm 81 years old. My grandparents and them took to vote. Not to vote, but show me the proper way to vote. When I was a little girl going to Coleman School, and before then when they used to go into homes and vote, my parents taught me the right to vote, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or whatnot. It's a matter of choice, but make sure whatever choice you select, you live by it. And we have a choice. If we don't want to support knucklehead, fine. But I want people to exercise their right because we fought. We fought for the freedom and the right, not just for the African American, but all races. So I hope anyone and everyone make decisions that they can live with. And thank you so much.
And thank you. You have such a strong and clear voice.
Because I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. I've seen enough suffocation. So now we got to be role model for our kids because our kids are the greatest. And
I wish every young person could hear you now. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to be advocating this until God says stop.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. All right, we got another caller. Caller, come right in.
There you are. Hello, Congressman Danny Davis.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, go Paula over here. Let me give my condolences to your friends, Larry. Somebody going to take up after them. Don't worry, there's more people that learn from them than anything.
All right.
But I'd like to get back to that Tweety Bird y'all talking about, that Mr. White House or that, whatever. I am full-blooded Italian. My family has been in this country going all the way back to the 1920s. We took a boat to come over here for 30 days with a piece of salami and a cheese under our arm to come to a greater land to make a better living for our family. I'm a full-blooded Italian. When he insults all of you, he insults all of us. You got to love yourself before you can love anybody else, and obviously that man don't love nobody. Us Italians, they used to call us all kind of names, wops, guineas, dagos, but we did it the right way. Our family came here, went through the legal system. I'm talking in the 20s. There was no Pedro around. There was you and me starting to try to learn how to be American. My family went through the proper procedures and did not have a child in this country till they were legal. Now, I ain't got nothing against Pedro. I've been working with Mexicans all my life in the restaurant business. I've been in restaurant business 40 years. 40 years ago, you used to be behind there making bacon and eggs. All of a sudden, we got invaded by Pedro. Now everybody wants to send them all back. They knew the deal. You come underneath the fence, you're going to have problems somewhere on down the line. United States is going broke. We got to take care of me, you, those lady, that beautiful woman that was around the TV before, bless her little heart. We got to take care of us. I don't mind the illegals, but you got...
All right, I guess you somehow got cut off, but thank you for your call. I like olive oil too and that hard bread. So let me tell you, I agree with you. All of us are in this together. Thanks to all of our callers. We had a great afternoon. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next week. And until then, do something good for somebody else, and good will come back to you. Have a good evening. Good night.